In the mid-13th century, the lawless region of Westphalia, Germany, spanning the lands between the Rhine and Weser rivers, was plagued by bands of outlaws and mercenaries. In response to this chaos, a secret vigilante society known as the Chivalrous Order of the Holy Vehm, or Vehm, emerged. Comprising free men and commoners, this organization was created to protect communities from marauders. Initially, the Holy Vehm enjoyed the support of both the Church and the Holy Roman Emperor. However, over time, it grew into a self-governing entity, notorious for imposing death sentences on those it deemed guilty. Membership in the Vehm was perilous. With only a small number of participants at its inception, the society enforced an oath of secrecy to shield its members from retribution by outlaws. New recruits swore a grim allegiance during initiation ceremonies, pledging to sacrifice their own lives and even their families, rather than reveal the society's secrets. A judge, or Stuhlherr, would symbolically draw blood from the initiate's throat with a sword, a chilling reminder of the fate awaiting traitors. Following this, the recruits kissed the cross formed by the sword's hilt and blade, sealing their allegiance. The organization's hierarchy included the Stuhlherren, deputy judges known as Freischoffen, and executioners, called Fronboten, who acted as inquisitors, jurors, and executioners. The term Vehm, or Vehm, is derived from the Latin fama, meaning a law based on common consensus. Over time, the Vehm interpreted this to mean their mission set them apart and above the laws of ordinary men. By the height of their influence, the Vehm boasted over 200,000 members, all sworn to uphold the Ten Commandments and eradicate heresy, treachery, and other perceived evils. Trials were conducted for anyone accused of violating divine or secular law, and convictions almost always ended in execution by hanging. As the Vehm gained power, they no longer hid their activities, holding public trials for notorious criminals in village squares. Yet their infamous secret courts, Heimliches Gericht, operated under the cover of midnight, instilling fear through their ominous proceedings. Splinter groups like the Black Vehm became even more ruthless, particularly toward those accused of witchcraft or heresy, conducting clandestine and merciless tribunals such as the Verboten Acht and Heimliches Acht. Once the threat of marauding outlaws diminished, the Vehm turned its focus to rooting out heretics and sinners. Suspected individuals were summoned 3 times to appear voluntarily before a Vehmic court, with each summons allowing a period of 6 weeks and 3 days for compliance. However, given the Vehm's reputation for issuing only death sentences, few answered these calls. Those who fled were condemned in absentia, with executioners dispatched to hunt them down. The Vehm's reliance on circumstantial evidence meant that nearly no one brought before its courts was found innocent. Records of their victims remain scarce, but historians estimate thousands, both guilty and innocent, were executed. Entire villages might be roused from sleep by the thud of swords against doors, summoned to witness midnight trials that invariably ended in a death sentence. Speaking in defense of the accused was futile and dangerous, as defenders often faced the same grim fate. Even when guilt could not be established, the accused were hanged to maintain the secrecy of the tribunal. Eventually, the Holy Vehm's unchecked power drew condemnation from both the Church and the German state. By the 19th century, their influence had waned significantly, and the society receded into obscurity. However, the rise of the Nazis in the 1930s saw the Vehm resurface briefly, targeting Jewish people as heretics in alignment with Nazi ideology. The Vehm's final chapter ended with the fall of the Third Reich in 1945, after which the shadowy society vanished into history, leaving behind a legacy of fear, secrecy, and brutality.